Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and thank you for stopping by again. I have a couple things to talk about tonight, quite different from each other. The first is Edward. That's enough. His privacy is his business. He's like you, somebody who's watched the YouTube videos and visited the site. He wrote me and said he was coming into Panama City to look for a place to rent. He wanted a place for a 1 or a 2 bedroom, if he could find it, in his price range. He wanted to be near the water or the bay, if possible. Wanted to be a place where there are stores he could walk to for food and things of this sort, restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. And he was hoping to get it in the $800 to $1,000 a month range. And I wrote him back, and I said, well, not as a furnished apartment, a fully furnished apartment here, which is what he'd hoped to get. You're likely in that neighborhood, you're going to maybe get it at $1,100, but you're probably going to be in the $1,200 to $1,400 range at the moment. So, I mean, that's not bad for that type of apartment, for 2 bedrooms in particular. And however, I said, you don't know until you come down. And he had asked, can I recommend an agent? And I said, yeah, of course. I do have this one. I've been watching her, seeing her work in recent times, and she's very good. And I said, I'd be happy to recommend her. And, I can do the same for anybody coming down. I always tell people there are plenty of agents down here and plenty of agencies. And so I don't expect anyone to use my agent or anything of this sort. That's not it at all. But I am willing to make a recommendation if they want it. But there's no trouble in finding one if you want somebody else. So you always have plenty of selection when it comes to agents in Panama. But I don't get involved in this at all. I just simply introduce the 2 of them by email, and I say, good luck to you, and they're off, and they do it themselves. I stay out of other people's decision-making process, particularly for things like rentals and things of this sort, because, I can give them a comment or 2 if they ask me about a particular aspect or whatever, but really it's their business, and they know what they like, and I'm not here to tell people what they should like or how much they should pay or anything of that sort. They can make these decisions, and he did. He's very, very, very pleased. He's got what he wanted. He's got a 2-bedroom apartment. He got it in the sort of neighborhood he wanted. It has the full kitchen equipment and some furnishings, but definitely not fully furnished. That's $1,050 a month that he's paying for that. Now, it so happened that, he said to the agent, he said, I really would prefer, not to get a fully furnished place. And so she worked with him, and they found different people that were selling furniture, and there was a person with a set of used furniture that she just found and took him over, and he took a look at it, and he liked it, and he gave an offer, and it was accepted, and moved in, and so he's got his furnished apartment. Now he's short 1 bed for the 2nd bedroom, but he's working on that. He'll get it eventually. So that was $585, I think. That doesn't mean that you can find that when you come down. All of this is Edward. This is his situation. He determines what it is he wants, how much he's willing to pay, whether or not it should be fully furnished, and so on, whether the furniture is up to par for him, or you, or anybody else. And you've got to do that yourselves. And I'm not going to be there to say you should do this or do that, because it's none of my business. It's your business, and you and the agent. What I look for is an agent that isn't going to try to push people into spending more money than they want to, and who helps them as best she can or he can to get the job done and do it well. In this case, I think she went above and beyond the call of duty, but from what I know of her and have seen of her work, that's not uncommon. Although I have to stress, she can't necessarily find used furniture easily, but she's open to doing what she can to help people out. That's the important thing. So I just wanted to let you know, and I haven't talked about it, helping people with rentals or the Metro Match sales program or anything, because I want to be sure that I've got good people to recommend and that I'm really meeting a need. And prices down here for purchase, again, it's a great time to buy and a lousy time to sell. From the rental perspective, The city is, you get a wide range. And you often read other people say, oh, there are outrageous rents in Panama City. Well, you can pay $4,000 a month if you want to. We've got it all. But many of them are quite reasonable, and especially now. As I've said before, the real estate market here is soft, very much so. And as a result, you can do much better than you could 2 or 3 years ago. And it's not going to stay that way forever. A long series of reasons. I expect that to turn around at some point and begin to build again. But we're not there yet. And so I'm delighted that some people take advantage of that. It's good for them. Although I have many friends here who really wish that wasn't the case, because either because they want to rent or they want to sell and they can't get what they want. So it's always everyone can't be happy at the same time. In any case, I wanted to share that story with you and remind you that, again, this is a good time. Alrighty, the other thing I'm just going to mention, and I won't be talking a lot about it, but we'll mention it along the way the next few months, and that's the elections that are coming up on May 5th. Elections are held every 5 years here, and everybody under the sun gets elected. If it's an elective office, it's up for election on the same day. 5 years, every 5 years. And that's May 5th of this year. We'll elect the president, vice president. We'll have 71 members of the National Assembly, which is our national legislature. There'll be mayors of cities and councilmen and councilwomen and so forth and what have you that are running. It's very open, very free. It'll be some very strong-willed people running this year. We're going to have some very strong opinions, and it'll be an active campaign. It will be very blunt and so forth. And at 8 o'clock this evening, and right now it's just after 7, so in less than an hour, I, along with half or more of the public here, the voting public, will be attached to our televisions for the first debate in the presidential election, the presidential debate. We have 7 candidates, 4 nominated by parties, 3 that gained access to the ballot through petitioning. We've been expanding things here, or Panama has, to encourage more independent candidates so that the parties don't just feel they own the country or whatever. And the 3 candidates that have been selected by petition, each one has a reputation. They're known. They will have supporters. They will have financial support. So we have 7 candidates for president. And in a very short period of time, each one will make their initial statements, and there will be a number of questions asked. There will be 2, a man and a woman, both journalists, who will be asking these questions. I'll be watching. I always watch the first debate. Everybody does, because this is the first chance we get to actually hear them and see them in action, and what it is they're going to stress, how they're going to deal with each other. It's always a fascinating affair, and it's very, very, very popular in the sense that people feel an obligation. People take part in these things. They get involved. It's a small country. Most of the candidates have been known by name for a long time by many people here, but they may not know them really, really well, so now is the beginning of that process. So I might add that presidents cannot run for re-election, so the current president isn't on the ballot. They have to wait for at least 2 terms or 10 years before they can run again. A couple have tried that and not successfully at all. So we tend to have new people as president, and in other offices, less frequently, they can run for re-election for national legislature, for mayors and things of this sort. Forgive me for the little break there, but something happened I had to respond to. But I was about to finish up anyhow. Just to let you know that before I run out here and get something to eat quickly and get ready for the debate, that things are moving along fine. We're all right down here. I've got much more I want to share with you, and we'll be doing so. I'm trying to get back to you a little bit faster over the next few days to share with you. It's a busy time for me, but it's not too busy to share with you. And of course, your emails, which are welcome, and I look forward to hearing from you, and if there are questions that I can answer, and if there are subjects you want me to cover. So, once again, thank you so much for stopping by. I think the world of you. You're friends, even from a great distance. Thank you.